Why does a carnivore diet work? Keto fails. Why are so many people gravitating towards a carnivorous diet? Is this just a fad? This is just a bunch of stupid heretics on the internet trying to cause ruckus? Let's explore this. A carnivore diet. So we've been teaching people here how to do a ketogenic diet for years now. We've been putting out YouTube videos on how to do keto for, I think, 4 years at least. And the popularity of keto has exploded. I remember the first time I heard about a carnivore diet, it was from Andrew Scarborough, who was dealing with a refractory epilepsy after a major brain tumor. So he had an astrocytoma that he had removed from his brain. He was using a ketogenic diet to keep his cancer in remission as an adjunct therapy for his cancer treatment. He ended up finding that the plants had to be removed from his diet to get the full benefits of the ketogenic diet. He was eating funny foods like cricket flour and eating all from the animal kingdom, eating nose to tail, eating foods like sweetbreads, eating brain, stuff like that. At the time, my opinion was, obviously it's working for this guy, and there's several other people that I spoke to over the years that it worked for very well with autoimmune conditions, treating for cancer, right? But at the time I thought, why would anyone want to do that? Why would I want to pull out the plants from the diet? Right? Why would I want to stop eating, cauliflower smothered in butter with a little bit of salt and pepper on it? It tastes great. Why would I give up avocado? It's a great source of potassium. It's got beneficial fiber for your digestion. Fiber, bro. Right? It's got, I love avocado. I love how it tastes. But what's crazy is over the years, I found myself gravitating less and less towards these foods. And now I eat basically a carnivore diet. For the last year and a half, I've just been eating from the animal kingdom, with very seldomly including some plants. Now, I'm not dogmatic about it. Gotta be strict carnivore. I'm never eating plants again. Screw plants. I don't think plants are bad. This is just how I prefer to eat. I feel better. I perform better. I recover better. So you've got this aspect of it that gets overlooked a lot. A lot of people are focusing on, well, it's just people who have autoimmune conditions, right? These vegan ideologues who are freaked out by carnivore. They want to stomp it out by any means necessary, right? These ideologically, these people that are so ideologically wrapped up and pushing a certain narrative on what is a good human diet for the health of us and health of the planet, right? I mean, these people with this fake moral high ground thinking they're going to save the world with a vegan diet are pissed off about this carnivore thing. They thought they had the health aspect in the bag. All the experts and the phony experts on the television and the YouTube, which is basically the new TV now, believe that plant foods are necessary, right? You've got the, on Joe Rogan's show, you had this, a debate between Joel Kahn, a vegan cardiologist, this ideologically driven guy who became a cardiologist in order to push veganism because he was already ideologically locked into it, versus Chris Kresser, paleo proponent, pretty intelligent guy. It was a nice, respectful conversation where in the end of it, all of them agreed that these carnivore people are kind of heretics and you really got to get plants, and that your diet should be primarily plants on the plate. Even Joe Rogan, who eats mostly meat and has a side of a few hundred calories worth of vegetables with his massive plate of meat and fat, he believes he's eating mostly vegetables just because the vegetable matter might look bigger than the meat. Even though calorically, all the foods he's eating, he's eating mostly animal foods. People still believe, we're still stuck in this dogma, we're so stuck in what we've been told in this programming that plants are good. Now, I'm not saying plants are bad. What I'm saying is they're obviously not necessary. You've got Chalene Anderson, Joe Anderson, their family living exclusively off of a carnivorous diet for 20 years now. They don't even concern themselves with the quality of the meat. And I'm not saying that I promote eating this way. I'm not saying you should just get the cheapest meat at Costco, but that's what they've been doing. They've been just eating ribeyes and feeding their boys ribeyes, and they're a happy, healthy family. Chalene has had her chronic Lyme's disease in like total remission for 20 years. So there's so many people out there proving our dogma incorrect. And these people aren't even eating a carnivore diet like I eat, where I'm eating liver, heart, I'm eating nose to tail, I make broth, right? I'm eating lots of variety. They're like just eating ribeyes, and they don't get bored of it, they love it, they enjoy it, they choose it. Just like I choose this. I'm not forced to do this from some crazy autoimmune thing where if I don't just eat carnivore, I'm going to be keeling over in pain, right? And having to get my hips replaced, like Michaela Peterson. I just eat this way because it feels better. This was the natural progression of my preferences, right? If I have a fridge full of food, and I've got foods like marrow, liver, heart, fatty cuts of meat, no way in hell I'm going to spend my time steaming up broccoli. And you know what's funny? I notice the same trend with my children. They have fruits. We try to give them vegetables sometimes. They don't care. My daughter, you could put cake or steak in front of her and she will choose the steak. Right? They have all the best foods in the world, the most nutrient-dense foods available for them, both plant and animal. And they gravitate towards the animal foods. Why the hell you think it's so difficult to get kids to eat broccoli? Well, maybe broccoli is not the most amazing health food in the world for human beings, and we need to check our assumptions on that. So many of us just naturally gravitate towards this, listening to hunger and satiety signaling, and feeling better on a carnivorous, ketogenic diet. And others gravitate towards this because of the simplicity of the rule structure. A lot of us are just trying to lose weight. A lot of people have had autoimmune type conditions their whole life, don't know what to eat. They've tried certain elimination diets like the GAPS diet, and they end up finding, like GAPS, gut and psychology syndrome diet, right? The GAPS diet is basically an elimination diet that leaves you with mostly animal foods, meats, and fats. It's almost a carnivore diet right there. Many people come to it through this. Others are just so sick of the cacophony of conflicting, confounding bullshit information that they're given via nutrition experts on the internet. They get so confused by the keto repeatos telling them, oh, you can't eat eggs on keto. If you drink coffee, you're not keto. You got to measure your blood ketones every time you step on a crack, lest you break your poor mother's back. You need to do this or that, just like me, or you're not keto. Right? They get sick of this shit. They get sick of the confusion. And they find this crazy group of individuals on the internet saying, you just eat meat and salt to satiety, and usually you'll end up losing a bunch of weight and feeling better than you have your whole life. You know, this guy that was in our Keto and Carnivore Collective this month, we just had our first meeting, which was really awesome. We do our Keto and Carnivore Collective every month, sometimes every other month, but it's our community coaching setup. We had to add the word carnivore to it because of the popularity of carnivore now, because this tool is so powerful that so many people who come to us for coaching want to learn how to do it now. All right, so it used to be just the Keto Collective. We've had to add carnivore onto it. A guy we were talking to today, he's lost, I think it was 30 or 50 pounds in the last few months just eating meat that he gets from Costco. And he wants to refine his diet, get his lifestyle a little bit more dialed in, get his movement patterns in line. Maybe we can help with getting some more nutrient-dense foods in. But he's doing great. And you know what? With him, he just didn't know what to do. The guy works his butt off all day long. He's driving a car for work. He works really hard. He didn't know what to do. He ended up hearing about carnivore and just started eating meat. And just that one simple rule allowed him to lose 50 pounds without having to worry about measuring his blood ketones, without having to worry about how much of this and that and this food do I need to eat, or is this food keto, is that food keto? He just had simple rules. Eating meat and eggs. Dude's eating bacon, steak, he eats salmon, and he feels great. So there's that crew as well. And this isn't a guy who had an autoimmune condition and needed to do it in order to get his health back. You know, a lot of these vegan ideologues are so obsessed with pushing this narrative of, oh, it's just this elimination diet, it's probably really dangerous, you can't do it long term. There have been people that have been doing this long term for decades. There have been people that just naturally gravitate towards this, right? You don't think that over the millennia of the existence of human beings, that many people have chosen, when they can get it, to just eat meat? You think when you make a kill and you've got a feast, I mean, looking back, I mean, not to throw out the classic people love to straw man paleo, oh, you like a caveman. I'm not talking about a few 100,000 years ago, or not 100,000 years ago, but 10,000 years ago. Human beings make a large kill of one of the megafauna in North America. You think they're gonna go look for some weeds and some plants to pick oh, they're gonna go steam this so I can balance out my meat intake. No, they're going straight for the marrow. They're going straight for the fatty meat. They're going straight for the delicious organs. They're going straight for the liver. And they're eating these foods. They're eating animals. Right? So I think it's just so silly, the dogma that has come about that we need plants. This is what pisses a lot of people off about a carnivore diet. You know, keto was heresy 5 years ago. It's becoming a lot more mainstream now, and I think it's so funny to see carnivore now reminds me of how keto was like 4 years ago. When people were first saying, not even first saying, people for decades in the low-carb community have been talking about cholesterol not being the demon that it's been made out to be. That saturated fat is not the worst thing in the world, and meat ain't gonna kill you. Right? That's what we were dealing with a few years ago. But then the keto community all agreed, well, you still got to get a lot of leafy green vegetables, you got to do this and that. And the voice of the carnivores was so tiny. But it's rising now. And people like Andrew Scarborough's example have kind of been forgotten, and more kind of celebrity type folk. We've got you know, Jordan Peterson bringing a lot of attention to a carnivore diet, and that's great. We've got to understand that people do it for different reasons. It's not just people with autoimmune conditions. It's simple people, right? It's normal people. Like my buddy I was just talking about, who was a hard-working guy and just found a simple rule that allowed him to lose 50 pounds and totally change his life and get rid of his depression. Sounds like snake oil almost. It works so well for people. And it's crazy. So carnivore diet doesn't just work because, oh, you're pulling out the oxalates, you're pulling the salicylates, or maybe because plants are all bad. There's different reasons why it works for different people, and it's all about context. Some people need to pull out the oxalates from the diet and pull out the plants from the diet. Others, like me, just feel better without them and just find themselves naturally gravitating towards this after years of, you know, eating a food that's based off of animal husbandry. Right, so we go to the market once a week. We've got friends who slaughter a cow here up in the mountains every single week, and we're able to get all the parts of the animal. It's abundant. And we gravitate towards those foods. So there's that. You got the autoimmune angle. You've got the weight loss angle and the simplicity of the rules. There's many different reasons why people are doing this. And it's not just a simple phenomenon that can be brushed aside and ignored. You can't just demonize the carnivores and say, oh, well, they're just a bunch of people, they hate plants, or maybe they don't like vegans, so that's why they do it. It's not so simple. Right? Just like the keto phenomenon, the carnivore thing is not going to go away. And you can't just brush it aside and say, oh, well, we've got these assumptions, so therefore they must be wrong. We can't do that. We've got to actually look at this. And there has been scientific research on an all carnivorous diet. Stephenson and Anderson. So Stephenson was an explorer who lived with the Inuit for quite a while. And he told people in the US that he was eating a just meat diet and felt great, better than he did in his whole life. Scientists didn't believe him. The dietitians at the time said, blasphemy. Hang this guy. Burn the heretic. They put him in a metabolic ward in New York with another friend of his. And they studied these two guys on an all-meat diet for an entire year. And the results were remarkably unremarkable. They were totally fine. Everybody was expecting them to get scurvy. You're gonna get the scurvy. They were fine. In fact, they both felt great. So, the carnivorous diet, it's not just this ridiculous heresy in the world of nutrition that needs to be brushed aside and quickly done away with. It's not just this nuisance. It's something that's going to need to be explored, and it's something that's going to become more and more popular as we move forward. So I'd say at least 10% of people in each one of our keto collectives that we've done over the last 6 months, at least 10% of people have been interested in or transitioning to a carnivore diet. And this group we just had our first meeting with today in our Keto and Carnivore Collective. It's our group coaching thing where we get a lot of private coaching requests, and I'm not able to handle all of them. I can only do so many Skype meetings per week, right? This is a way we're able to teach in a community-based setting, and it's really, really fun because people get to support each other. We do like live interactive voice chats each week. We use a live Discord server. It's not just some Facebook group, here's your macros, good luck. It's like we work with these people, and it's a really fun community-based thing. But what we found is the popularity of a carnivore diet is dramatically increasing, and we have seen some really, really incredible things with people transitioning to carnivore after keto, especially with autoimmune conditions, but surprisingly, in like average normie people who are just trying to find a simple way to eat that allows them to lose weight. So we've been finding that so many more people are interested in carnivory that it's like shocking. And people are ready to give up their former dogma about, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to atone for the sins of eating meat by consuming these delicious plants, right? The meat bad, plants good. Programming is failing. And it's really beautiful to see. So anyways, a carnivore diet, I'm not saying everybody should do it. I'm not saying it's good for everybody. But there are obviously people who are doing it and enjoying it and thriving on a carnivorous keto diet. Alright, well that's it. That's not just nutritional heresy. It's something that needs to be considered. How are these people thriving and feeling so good off an all-meat diet? And why is there this huge pushback and so much concern and fake worry about these people and such a dramatic triggering of the nutrition community? Right? People are pissed. Why is that? We gotta question our dogma, question our assumptions here, and understand there's probably more to the picture than plants good, meat bad. And you can live off of just meat. And a lot of people are feeling way better off of just animal foods. And why is this controversial? But it's not controversial when people are living without any animal foods at all. When there's never been a society in the history of humanity that's lived without any animal foods, why is it not controversial and not shocking to these experts, right? Why is Rhonda Patrick not freaked out about these people feeding fruitarian diets to kids? About these vegans completely removing all animal foods, all fat and all cholesterol from the diet? That's not shocking, yet it's shocking that people can live without vegetables. I think it's kind of ridiculous, and it's a total double standard. So anyways, you can find more at primaledgehealth.com. If you're interested in more, check out the links in the description down below. The next Keto and Carnivore Collective is going to be in December. That's a few weeks from now, but you can sign up now. Then if you're interested in private coaching consultations, we still do those as well, but I definitely recommend going to the Keto and Carnivore Collective rather than the private coaching route. Although some people are shy, some people just want to talk to me on Skype and then communicate via email. The Carnivore Collective, or the Keto and Carnivore Collective rather, it's a much more effective way because of doing coaching, because we can work with so many people at once, and you have the community support aspect. So links in the description down below. Next session is going to start at either the first or the second week of December. We haven't decided quite yet. But yeah, question your assumptions, guys. And don't just go burning these carnivore heretics at the stake. Pun intended, I guess. Dig deeper. I'm not saying everybody should do it. What I am saying, though, is that obviously a lot of people are getting results with this, are feeling great, and their blood work is improving as well. So how can you deny that this works when there's so many people out there proving it day in and day out that you don't need the plants? I'm not saying they're bad, but we don't need them. Alright, so get off the freaking computer, get off your cell phone, get off of the social media, kill your Facebook account, turn off your TV, and go live.